Hey guys, how's it going? My name's Lois and welcome back to Stoneblock 3. In the last episode, we set up an alloy kiln for one to get some materials. Brass specifically, I believe is what we were after. Yes, because we needed brass casings so that we can make mechanical crafters. And along with that, we made the mixer so that we could get soul sand, so that we could duplicate soul sand, or rather craft it from normal sand. And you might notice that my create system has not changed, and there's a reason for that. It's because I'm going to do it later. So I've expanded this room a little bit. I'm going to probably expand it more that direction as well. And I've also dug a pretty long tunnel. So looking at the map, there is a couple of things that we want to go explore at some point. There is a big dungeon over there. There's a smaller dungeon over here. And eventually we want to get out to 1,000 blocks so that we can get to the nether stuff. But that's going to take some time, and I just did that because I felt like it. And yeah, so today what I want to work on is this. I want to get a little bit of a setup for bulk blasting, or rather haunting and washing materials. We're going to do that a little bit differently than how this is currently set up. Just because we're gonna set up multiple water wheels and have multiple lines doing different things, and we're no longer going to be using the millstone to we're no longer gonna be using this guy and converting all of the sand into washing and all that kind of stuff. We're not gonna do everything together. The other thing I want to start working towards, I'm kind of divided. On one hand, I want to make deployers because deployers are really important. It's going to require quite a bit of brass, so we might want to wait on that a little bit. And the reason for that is so that we can get into refined storage. That is going to be our primary kind of system of storage. I don't know how else to say it. I've not really decided how I want everything in here for the storage system with the drawers, but yeah, we're going to probably be using refined storage for the most part. And then the other thing that we can do is work on getting the mechanical crafters so that we can make the crushing wheels, which is how we get the rest of the resources in the game, by crushing mostly gravel. So there is a couple of different things we can do. The first thing that we need to do, though, is we need to make a depot. So I haven't actually looked at this recipe, and it is really cheap. All right, perfect. We're going to want to make like 2 of these. So we're going to need some andesite casing. So we're going to need some andesite alloy, and that's pretty much it. 4 of these. And 2 wood, all cased up. And then we just put these together and we get the depots. Now depots are interesting. We can ponder on them. And basically they're stationary belt elements. That's all that really matters. So what we can do is if we get rid of this, we can put a depot here. We don't have to have this fan going so fast. Let's go grab flint and steel, I do believe is what we need. Do we have flint and steel somewhere? Maybe. Yes, there it is. And we also want to grab some sand. So what we can do, and I think this will actually work. Interesting. I didn't know that would do that. If we put sand there, okay, so it doesn't hold everything. Eventually, this will turn into soul sand, and we can pick it up, no problem. So that is really cool. I don't really care about that right now. I'm going to disable this just because we don't need to have that going right now. But yeah, so the depots are going to be what we use for fans. And now to help with that, we need some brass funnels. Now we have 1 brass ingot, and that is all we need. However, we need polished rose quartz, which is a little bit more annoying. So what we have to do now is if we put water here, it washes away my torches. Ugh. Every time. Let's put a block here and get it to go that way. Alright, let's just do that. And I really wish it'd stop washing away my torches. So we have that taken care of. And then we can put soul sand here. And if we reconnect this guy, it will start washing the soul sand. And that will give us a chance of getting quartz. And it did. We got 2 quartz. So what we need is a electron tube, which is also what we need for the mechanical crafters. And so the electron tube is just an iron sheet and polished rose quartz, which requires rose quartz, which requires a bunch of redstone. So what we're going to end up doing is we'll get this. It's not a problem. And we just need 1 right now. So then we need sandpaper, which I don't think we made, did we? We need paper for that, but we actually do already have sugarcane, and we can grow more sugarcane, not a problem. So let's get some paper, and we make sandpaper, quite literally. And then, how do we polish this? So I think it might be one of these. It is. Alright, so we polished the rose quartz, and now we can presumably make the electron tube. We need iron, an iron sheet, and here soon we'll set up some automation to get iron sheets and all that kind of stuff as well. So there is the electron tube, and then I have a bunch of dried kelp cooking, and we should be able to make 2 brass funnels, which is actually exactly what we need right now. So, is that a quest, by the way? I actually don't know. No. Okay. So, that's all good and well, but what are we going to use that for? Well, with the brass funnels, these things are a little bit better than the andesite funnels, obviously. And what we want to do with these is filter. So we're going to have the depots set up. So let's just do an example. I'll set it up over here. I will rearrange things later. But we're going to have something like this. And we can have a filter. We can set the amount that it will filter, all that kind of stuff. But basically what we need to do is make a blacklist, which requires a list filter. And I'm realizing this might not be the best of options, but we'll deal. I have ideas of how we're going to set it up, so it's not too bad. And I can only make 1 list filter right now. So it is just string. So 4 string turns into a piece of wool. And then with that wool, do we have any iron nuggets laying around? We might in the chest over here. So let's check this before we do anything else. Yes, we have some iron nuggets. So what we're going to do is something like this. And we get a list filter. And what we use this for is, well, we can filter. And so what we'll want to make sure is that we blacklist, deny list, whatever, same difference, sand. And now if we put this on a belt somehow, it will not take sand out. So I guess we can do something like this. And if we put, actually, let's just do this more normally over here. So We put that there. Wash away our torch again. I really, really get tired of this water. Put some sand there. Put some sand there. That'll work. And we'll put the torch there. That also flooded this, of course. I meant to put sand there. So you can see it dumps out items, and if we were to put some sand here, it would just dump it out. And that's not what we want. But if we put the list filter right there, it will no longer dump sand. Instead, it will wash it. Or whatever else we put there. So, as you can see, and then that stuff will get dumped out. And that stuff we can put on a belt and send it on around. So, I am going to cut away. I'm going to get some work done. Make another list filter. Get some fans with depot set up and hook it up to a bigger system. I have another water wheel. I'm probably going to use a couple more water wheels to do stuff. The fans don't need to go fast this time, luckily, because of the nature of what we need to do. I'm also going to expand this room a lot more, at least so that there's more space to do stuff. And then eventually, we're going to have a belt system that takes our items over to our storage system and all that kind of fun stuff. So we'll have a tunnel at some point for that, and that'll be great. So I'm going to get to work at the very least getting things cleaned up a little bit, and we'll come back once that's done. Alright, so I have some systems set back up, and it's a lot nicer. It's a little messy in there, and at some point I might make things look a little bit nicer. But I'm just waiting on one more industrial hemp fiber. I am going to 100% probably start getting more hopper botany pots in the near future. And then we can actually, you know, make stuff. So I also, you might notice my levels are lower. I died. I went AFK for a little bit, and then a slime spawned and ruined my day. So that was unfortunate, but oh well. So let's get some string, get some wool, and we're gonna make another filter. And this one we are going to blacklist sand, gravel, dust, and soul sand. Okay, let's get these all in there. And this is going to be for the washing. So this is the system I have. It's nothing much. I wanted things to be up a little bit. And the reason for that is so that we can have these guys go onto a belt and then go to a chest, or eventually go to our storage system. So we'll put that there. And I've tested it with this guy. It should work. We are going to need a good bit of dust. Okay, so those only allow 16 at a time. That is an unfortunate thing because it's going to blow it into the, if I'm not careful, it's going to blow it into the fire. And that would not be good. But I just have this basic system so that we can get things going. And does this not work? Any should be fine. Does it need to be higher? Let's see. If we grab that and then let's put a block down. And then put this here. Nope. I do need to get used to everything. Does this just not... Okay, so it dumps it out there. Not sure why that didn't work. I'm going to have to figure that one out. But, yeah, in general, maybe because the belt's too close. Unfortunately, I can't really do much about that. Unless I make this a bigger thing and put it in the ground, which would be okay. So I might play around with this a little bit. But I am definitely going to need more stuff. And maybe it can't go into the side of a belt. I don't know if I've ever tested that in general. Let's grab this thing and let's ponder it for a second, because I'm still learning this mod and things. So it can be on the sides. It was doing something at the end. Okay, it can go up. But it doesn't look like... I know we can take things from. So I'll figure this out. I might drop this down one block and see if that works. In which case, let's try this with a shaft. It's not how I want it, but whatever. No, that is not how I want it. I believe I can use... Can't I use the wrench? I need to get better at using the wrench. And let's just do... Not quite. Can I rotate? Perfect. Alright, so I should have another large cogwheel in here. And it's not going to like connecting. So if I try to connect there, it's not going to work. Okay. So I'll have to figure something out. And I'll figure something out so that it's automatic, and it might just need to be down a block. Let's just see if we put this stuff like so. If we put the belt down, and let's go ahead and I guess we'll put this back how it was, and we need to get a little bit more dust taken care of, because I need a lot of redstone. For the next thing that we're gonna have to do, we're gonna need a lot of redstone, and if this works, then okay, so that's all it needed to do. Okay, I can handle that. So we'll just drop the chest down, and things will look nicer once I get used to the mod and have more toys to play with and all that kind of stuff, and kind of have an idea of what I want to do in general. So yeah, we need to get some soul sand in there as well, and that will be good. I'll just need to get motion down there, and that won't be too difficult. So I also have this guy set up, and this is for the mechanical crafter. Once we get enough of the materials, we are going to be able to use that. It's one of those slimes murdered me. And it is definitely going to be something that is kind of important to get set up here soon. I know that depending on how fast things turn, makes it go faster, obviously. Should be relatively straightforward in that sense. But see if I can get enough cogwheels just to make this turn. So that is the wrong way. Put that there. And that there. can't get through there. And we should be able to do... But that's the way I want it to turn. You know, I might be able to do some things with the belts. I will figure this out. But, yeah, I just wanted to show that off. It should work just fine. Now, let's see. We only have a little bit of stuff. Let's continue messing around with this just a little bit. If we do that and put some shafts like this, can we connect it? No. You can do these at an angle, but only certain ones, only certain angles, I should say. But, yeah, we'll grab some materials. So we're going to need 7 quartz in total. And so I'm going to figure out the conveyor belt. I thought it would work. I thought I tested it, and apparently it just didn't want to work. Should be able to figure something out. It's just going to be a matter of doing it. And I really need to get used to using the wrench. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll bring you guys back in once I have the quartz and we can set up the mechanical crafters. I'm going to go ahead and make the electron tubes as well because you've seen that. No reason to show that again. So I will be back once I am ready to make the mechanical crafter, and we will try to make the crushing wheels today, but we're probably not going to get to the point to use them. Just because that is going to take some setup. These things are a little bit interesting. They need a lot of, they have a pretty high kinetic stress impact. They work slowly if you don't go fast enough type of thing. But more than anything, you need to have one rotate one way and the other one rotate the other way next to each other. So it's a little bit tricky. So I'll have to figure that out. And I'm not looking up too much, to be perfectly honest. I am just trying to explore this mod. It has a really good, like, everything about it is very well explained. And whatnot with this ponder system. It is fantastic. So that is something we'll kind of get into next episode with the crushers, but I want to get the mechanical crafters because those are useful for many things. So I will be back once I have the quartz and we're ready to make those. Alright, so things are working again. I have all of the redstone that we need. There is one little kind of thing that we need to fix, and it's with this guy, which we will get to in a second, but this seems to work just fine. It's a little bit slow, but meh, it's okay. It will work. Something I've been worried about is if there's too many items. So the depot can only hold 16 items at a time. And so we're going to change this guy out for a smart chute. And I hope that it works the way I think it will. But I have the polished rose quartz. We have iron ingots to make sheets. I also have a piece of brass because we're going to need a brass sheet. And then we can just make the electron tubes. We are going to then make 21 mechanical crafters, which is a quest, and then we're also going to make a smart chute. Maybe. It is completely the other way around. Alright, so a smart chute should allow us to control, click and hold for the amount. We want to exactly 16. So now let's throw some dust in there. And if we throw a stack of dust in here, does not work. Okay, not like I thought it would. Okay, so I'll figure something out with this. I've also considered switching these around. That might be okay, but it doesn't seem to work all that great. So this thing will take quite a bit at a time. Oh, hey, and it does actually put those down there. So I'll have to figure out some way to manage this so that it only provides the amount that we want at a time, and it'll be great. So, mechanical crafter. We need to make the crusher, so it's 3. 1, 2, 3. We're gonna need some height on this. Excuse me. And we're gonna have to adjust things as well. So something like this. And like that. And looks like what we need to do to get this to work is not put it there. Let's just put it somewhere else. So we can put a cogwheel, let's see here, and put one there. And that should work just fine. Yep. So we just need to do something like this. And then we clean it up by having all the items come into the bottom. The contraption is overstressed. Add more sources or slow down the components with a high stress impact. Okay. So we might need more water wheels. We might need to slow it down. I'll figure something out. But one of the big things is that we need to have everything come to the center, basically. And at some point, it'll all work. We'll have all these guys go down. And then we'll do like that. That should work okay. So it's just a matter of getting more stress. So if we break some of these, we really need to get into the habit of using all this stuff. We can do something like that. And let's see if that is overstressed. I still don't know exactly how to deal with stress type stuff. But hey, that works. It's going to be super slow, but it's going to work. And isn't that all that's important? So it was just going too fast for the one water wheel. We could always make more and have them in a line. But we are going to be using this to make the crushing wheel. So we need stone, planks, and a bunch of andesite alloy. We should have all that stuff. If not, we don't have quite enough andesite alloy, but we should be able to make enough. I have plenty of the stuff, so it's just a matter of doing that. 4 planks we have, and then a piece of stone. So theoretically, we put that in the center, and I vaguely know how this works, but I don't automate any crafting recipe. We can have an inventory connected. Has to exit at any side. Rotational force. Right click to okay. I think once everything is in, it should automatically. I didn't know if we needed a redstone signal or something. But now it should very slowly start. And you can see it is actually starting to craft. So this is going to take forever. So let's go ahead and get some quests done. Fluid transporter. What is that from? Industrial foregoing. Okay. Not familiar with that too much. And then we get the quest for that because we have it. And then we also got some high-speed increase modules from Pretty Pipes. That's kind of nice. So, getting started, we're going to be making the crushing wheels. And then that will allow us to get some new stuff. The other thing that we can use this thing for, and we're going to, is chickens. So there is a bunch of chickens that we can get right off the bat. Sand chickens require a bunch of sand and an egg, as well as red chickens. And if you combine, aka breed, red and sand, you get redstone, which would be really nice to have. So we might look into chickens sooner rather than later, but it's almost done actually. This is very slow. You can make this a lot faster, and I think at some point we can get things like an electric motor, which seems terrible. And I need to figure out how things work a little bit with these crafters, but there we go. It's combined into a crushing wheel, and I don't know if I need to do anything else. I can just take it. Perfect. So there is the crushing wheels, and these things are also, they're not that big, but they are going to be a pain to set up, and we're going to do that another time. But it does require, it does allow us to get into some other materials, such as osmium and lead and bauxite, which is, you know, aluminum. So there's a lot of good things there. Hey, we got a chainmail helmet. Perfect. We needed that. So at this point, we're going to go ahead and end the episode off. We have other things that we can work on next time, and part of it is I think I want to get a little bit into chickens. We're gonna want to have, are we going to actually go for the stats? I think we are. So we're gonna want some things from the chickens mod, breeder, a roost. Both of these are going to be good, and we're going to need hay and all that. So what I'm going to do between episodes is I'm going to try to make some more hopper botany pots. We should be able to do stuff. I'm going to see if I can't figure out a way to make this behave a little bit better. Because if we can just put exactly amounts, it might be that we need to put another brass funnel onto the side of this and do it that way. But I don't think funnels can go from inventory to inventory. So I'll figure out something. I will look into it. And yeah, next time we will probably work with chickens a little bit. We might get into the crushing wheels. I'm not sure yet, but we'll figure something out. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!